Alright guys, welcome back to Graybeard Builds. Today we are going to attempt something that we have never attempted before. I am going to build a cross, and I'm going to do it with Purpleheart and zebra wood. And what I've never attempted before is a glue up. I've always just used nails or screws and glue as well sometimes, but mostly just nails and screws. So we're going to do a glue up, and we're going to attempt it with nowhere near enough clamps to be clamping down boards that long. But we're going to do it anyways, and we're going to see how it turns out. Hopefully it turns out good. Hopefully I make a nice project for my wife, and if there's any pieces left over, I may try and make a couple coasters or something. Just experiment a little bit with what I got, because it's not a whole lot of exotic wood, but it's a couple little pieces, enough for me to get the job done when I need to. So without further ado, let's get to work. All right, in this section right here, I am going to be using my speed square to check and see if these boards are square pretty much. I do not have a planer, so it is pretty imperative to me that I get this done as close to straight as possible, because without a planer or a jointer, it's will not make for a very good glue up job. So I just take the speed square here, and I'm checking to see if I need to make any cuts to make anything square, or get it as close to square as I can. The pattern we're going with is going to be like this, only it's going to be this ripped in half, and a thin strip of this in between. So in my last video, I didn't have ear protection. Safety first. All right, let's work. Look at that. Ain't that something special? Alright, so got our boards cut. Even the sawdust looks awesome. Alright, we're going to take these over to the lovely table saw, and we're going to do a couple strips out of the zebra wood and figure out how we're going to glue this all up. Stay tuned. Well, we have our pieces cut and we're ready for glue up here. See what we end up with. Alright, now we're going to go clean the rest of this up with chisel. Test fit. Fit around it. It's a little loose. Not what I needed. But just goes to show you should test fit your pieces as you're cutting them. But we can work with that. That's not that bad. Make it work. But you can see what we're going for here. That's it. It's going to be a cross right there. Alright, so here we have our glued up piece. Came out good. I'm running nice and stuck together. So first we're going to take trusty sander, because I do not have a planer, and we're going to knock this down. It's going to take a little bit, but gotta get the job done. We're starting here with 180 grit sandpaper, and quickly I realize that it is not going to be enough. So we switch over to a 60 grit, and when we get the 60 grit going, it actually was an older piece of sandpaper and it ends up breaking on me, so I have to switch over and start hand sanding.
which you'll see in just a moment. But other than that, we just did the 180, the 60, and then we switched back to 220 to finish up and just give it that nice smooth surface. And you'll see the 220 shortly. Okay, this next step here, it would be a lot easier with a cross-cut sled, but I have not built mine yet. So just with the same as a cross piece, I'm going to be eyeballing this and doing it by hand. I do not recommend this approach, as you essentially have just the control of the piece in your hand. There's no backing, no nothing, so you take the chance to tear out and things like that. But I had not built my crosscut sled yet, so this is the way I chose to go about it. This is a last resort. If you have a crosscut sled, use it. Don't be like me. Okay, so here I've just trimmed out the leather piece and got me a nice fit. If you'll notice, see how it sits a little proud of the project? I did that on purpose. The two pieces of wood are different thicknesses, and I like the aesthetic look of it standing up proud like that. It just kind of looks really cool, and this is going to be something that a lot of people are probably going to see because it'd be at the cemetery, so I wanted to give it a little bit of character. And then next we're going to have the glue up here, and that's what we're looking like. And then last but not least, we have the first coat of poly, and as I apply the next coat, we'll get you looking. Alright, this polyurethane coat has sat overnight. We're going to give it a light sanding with some 220 grit sandpaper, and we're going to put a couple more coats on today. I'll wipe down here. And I'm just wiping this on with a rag. No special tricks or techniques, just dipping the corner in here. really just, it brings that wood grain to life. Close down the sides here. And the grain real good. And that's it, really. After giving it that light sanding and looking it over real good, I think we're just going to settle with that third coat. I mean, really. That is just looking so nice. So nice. All right, and I'm not going to really show you guys the hardware because I'm just going to be attaching a threaded rod to the back of it so I can stick it in the ground. But I will give you an update later on with a photo of it out at the actual gravesite. But for now, we're going to end it here. Thanks for hanging out for another Graybeard Builds, and we'll see you next time.